1954. A drugstore counter. Behind it, a woman in a white smock who knew your mother by name and which shade of red she wore. The air smelled like powder and cold cream and camphor. Every jar had a purpose, and every tube lasted months. Not one of those brands exists in any form she would recognize. Between 1955 and 1975, the number of independent American cosmetics companies was cut in half. These brands were not outperformed. Formulas were discontinued, factories were closed, and chemists were let go. What remained was a name on a balance sheet, kept alive long enough to squeeze the last loyalty from women who trusted it. These are 15 of them. Now, before we dive in, tap that subscribe button. You will not want to miss what comes next. Number 15. Pond's Cold Cream. 1 jar, 1 step, every night. The company goes back to 1849. A pharmacist named Theron T. Pond extracted a healing tea from witch hazel. He called it Golden Treasure. The original product was marketed as a cure for cuts and inflammation. By the early 1900s, the cold cream had taken over. It came in a white porcelain jar with a metal lid. It cost 35 cents in 1952. A woman worked it into her face in small upward circles from jawline to temples. A cotton pad came away gray with the dust of the day. Before elaborate skincare regimens came along, Pond's was cleanser, mask, and moisturizer all in one. Pond's is technically still sold, but the white jar with the metal lid is gone. What replaced it is a brand name stretched across 17 products that would have baffled the woman who needed one. Number 14. Noxzema. There was another jar on that bathroom shelf. This one fought back. A medicinal blue jar that stung on contact and left your face feeling like it had been scrubbed by winter air. 29 cents in 1953. The eucalyptus and camphor hit you the moment the lid came off. The name came from the claim that it knocked out eczema. It started as a sunburn remedy sold from a Baltimore pharmacy in 1914. A pharmacist named George Bunting mixed it by hand and sold it to customers who came back with blistered shoulders every summer. Noxzema did not promise beauty. It promised clean skin, no fantasy, no aspiration, just a camphor sting and a face that felt ready for the next day. It did not smell like flowers. It smelled like someone telling you the truth. Number 13. Coty Airspun Powder. Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder was the finishing touch in the American beauty routine for half a century. It came in a round cardboard container with a swirl pattern lid, a velour puff nested inside. You pressed the puff in, tapped off the excess, and dusted from the bridge of the nose outward. It cost 39 cents in 1951. The scent was unmistakable, sweet, floral, and slightly musky. Women who used it could identify it blindfolded 50 years later. François Coty founded the company in Paris in 1904. He was among the first to understand that fragrance could sell a product that had nothing to do with perfume. The powder worked, but the scent is what brought women back. The puff against the nose, the quiet click of the compact, the woman in the mirror who was now ready. The scent lingered on the bathroom counter for hours after she left. Her children could smell her all morning. Number 12. Woodbury's Facial Soap. Woodbury's ran the first advertisement in American history to use sex appeal to sell a product. The tagline was 4 words, a skin you love to touch, a man's hand reaching toward a woman's cheek. The ad scandalized magazines. It also tripled sales within a year. It was bar soap in a paper wrapper, 15 cents. By the 1950s, Woodbury's was in every Woolworth's in America, the soap of working women, not socialites. Woodbury's understood that the skin a woman cares for is not just for the mirror, it is for the people she loves. A bar of soap said that in 1911. The industry needed 100 years and $1 billion to say it worse. Number 11. Cutex. Cutex was the first commercial nail polish brand in America. A small glass bottle, a metal cap, a tiny brush inside. It cost 15 cents in 1952. The smell of acetone from the Cutex remover was the smell of a woman getting ready on a Saturday night. Cotton balls stained red in the wastebasket. Cutex introduced liquid nail polish in 1917. Rosy Future, really red. The names alone told a story of the era. A woman filing her nails and painting them Cutex red at the kitchen table on a Friday evening. The children asleep, the radio on low. 10 minutes of something that was entirely for herself. The brand is mostly gone now. The smell of the remover is not. Something worth noticing about these first 5 brands. Not one asked a woman to become someone else. The products were maintenance, not transformation. Somewhere between 1960 and today, the entire industry shifted from care for what you have to fix what is wrong with you. That shift was not an accident. It was a business decision. Number 10. Dorothy Gray. Dorothy Gray was the prestige skincare line women graduated to when they could afford it. Its products came in tall glass jars with silver lids. You did not grab Dorothy Gray off a shelf. A woman behind the counter in a white coat handed it to you. A jar of the Salon Cold Cream cost $1.50 in 1954, 4 times the price of Pond's. Dorothy Gray also offered one of the first hormone creams containing estrogen, marketed to women over 40. FDA had not yet stepped in. The cream promised firmness and youth, and women believed it because the woman behind the counter believed it too. Dorothy Gray was a quiet indulgence. A private decision that her face was worth $1.50. The brand vanished so completely that even its name draws a blank today. The department store counter where she bought it is gone too. Number 9. Tony Home Permanent. The Tony Home Permanent Kit let a woman give herself or her daughters a permanent wave at the kitchen table. It came in a cardboard box with a woman's smiling face. Inside were waving solution, a neutralizer, tiny pink plastic rods, end papers, and a timer. $2 in 1952. A salon perm cost $5. The advertising campaign ran throughout the 50s. Which twin has the Tony? Identical twins, one with a salon perm and the other with a Tony. The stinging chemical smell of the waving solution. Sharp ammonia dripping down the back of your neck. When the rods came out, the curls were there, tight, springy, lasting weeks. A woman did not need a salon, did not need an appointment, did not need to ask. She needed a box, a kitchen chair, and an afternoon. The curls lasted weeks. The memory of sitting in that kitchen chair lasts a lifetime. Number 8. Tangee. Tangee was named after the tangerine color of the company's first product. It was created by pharmacist George Luft in the early 1920s. It looked orange in the tube, but it changed to a soft rose the moment it touched the lips. It came in a black tube with a gold band. It cost 89 cents. For millions of girls growing up in the 50s, Tangee was the entry point. Its promise to adjust to a girl's natural lip color meant girls could justify it to their fathers. It became the best-selling lipstick in America between the 2 world wars. Tangee was the negotiation between a girl and her father. It was the lipstick she was allowed to wear because it was barely there. By the 60s, a wave of new brands rendered Tangee a relic. Every woman over 60 remembers the first tube of lipstick she was allowed. For millions, the tube looked orange and the color turned to rose on the lips. Number 7. Richard Hudnut DuBarry. In 1959, Hudnut released Lip Quick, a roll-on lipstick that captured 25% of the American lipstick market almost overnight. But the real genius was the DuBarry Success Course, a mail-order beauty instruction program that taught women step by step how to apply foundation, powder, lipstick, and rouge. It came with product samples and a printed guide, and women treated it like a correspondence course for the face. Richard Hudnut himself was a pharmacist who started selling perfume from his Manhattan drugstore in 1880. For a woman who grew up without a mother who wore makeup or who married young and never had the time, DuBarry was the teacher who showed up in the mail. The brand was swallowed by Warner Lambert and erased. The women who completed the Success Course got nothing but knowledge. It was enough. Number 6. Lady Esther. Lady Esther was founded in Chicago in 1913. Seema Cohen Bussiel headed the group of siblings who built it. She pounded the pavement selling homemade face cream door to door. The famous product was the four-purpose cream: cleanser, skin softener, astringent, and powder base. 1 jar, 4 uses, less than $1. By 1941, Lady Esther was voted America's top face powder. The company sponsored a live CBS radio series featuring Orson Welles himself. In 1953, the family sold the company for $3,275,000. Today, Lady Esther remains a favorite among vintage makeup collectors. Almost no one else remembers. Seema Cohen died in 1990 at 99 years old in a suite at Chicago's Drake Hotel. The brand she built was already dead. Number 5. Merle Norman. Merle Norman operated on a principle that would be considered radical today: try before you buy. Merle Norman studios were small salons, often in strip malls or downtown storefronts, run by independent women who owned the franchise. You walked in, you sat down, and a woman applied the products to your face, free and with no obligation. Merle Nethercutt Norman founded the company in Los Angeles in 1931, mixing skin creams in her kitchen. In small towns across America, the Merle Norman studio was often the only beauty counter a woman had. It was run by a neighbor who knew your face, someone who would not sell you something you did not need. There are still a few studios left, and most are run by women in their 70s. When they close, nothing replaces them. Number 4. Max Factor Pancake. Max Factor Pancake. Foundation launched in 1935. A round compact, a dry cake of pressed foundation. You dampened a sea sponge, swirled it across the surface, and pressed it onto the skin. 1 pass. Flawless. Max Factor himself was born in Poland in 1877 and immigrated in 1904. He had served as a makeup artist for the Russian royal court before fleeing to America. In Hollywood, he became the man the studios called when the camera revealed what the stage never had. Women were stealing Pancake from film sets before it even went to market. Then came the color harmony system: brunette, redhead, blonde, brunette. The company told you exactly which shades were yours. Max Factor gave ordinary women what Hollywood had: a system, not guesswork. The global cosmetics industry is now valued at over $600 billion. It has never been harder to know what to buy. 1 compact, 1 sponge, 2 minutes. She looked like a movie star, and she knew exactly why. Number 3. Helena Rubenstein. Born Chacha Rubenstein in Krakow, Poland, in 1872. She arrived in Australia with 12 jars of her mother's face cream. She sold them, and she started an empire. By the 1950s, Helena Rubenstein's salons operated in major cities across the world. A jar of Skin Dew Cream cost $4 in 1955, nearly 12 times the cost of Pond's. Gold and black packaging, heavy glass. She famously declared that there are no ugly women, only lazy ones. She did not mean it as cruelty, she meant it as power. Her rivalry with Elizabeth Arden lasted decades. They never met, they never spoke. They built two of the largest beauty empires in history within blocks of each other on Fifth Avenue. Helena Rubenstein died in 1965 with a personal fortune estimated at over $100 million. The richest self-made woman in the world, she had done it with face cream. Today, L'Oreal owns the brand. In America, the country she built her empire in, her name draws a blank. Number 2. Maybelline Cake Mascara. Before Maybelline became a drugstore giant owned by L'Oreal, it began as one product. Thomas Lyle Williams watched his sister Mabel mixing coal dust and Vaseline and applying it to her lashes. He named the company by combining Mabel and Vaseline. The year was 1915. The cake mascara came in a small red case, the size of a pocket watch. You wet the tiny brush, rubbed it across the dry cake, and built the lashes up layer by layer. 25 cents in 1953. The cake lasted 6 months. The modern tube mascara lasts 3 months and costs $12. The cake lasted half a year and cost $0.25. Progress is a word that can mean anything the person selling it wants it to mean. Number 1. Hazel Bishop. The problem was lipstick that smeared, on collars, on coffee cups, on everything. Hazel Bishop was born in Hoboken, New Jersey on August 17, 1906. She completed a chemistry degree at Barnard College. She worked in dermatology labs. She worked on aviation fuel during the war. And in her kitchen, after hours, she mixed staining dyes with oils and molten wax, trying to make a lipstick that stayed. She tested over 300 formulations. Most cracked, most bled, most dried the lips until they peeled. She kept going. In 1948, she and a partner named Alfred Berg founded Hazel Bishop Incorporated. The product was no-smear lipstick, 6 shades, real red, medium red, secret red, $1.10. The tagline was 5 words every woman heard on television. It stays on you, not on him. Sales went from $49,000 in 1950 to over $10 million in 1953. In 1951, she appeared solo on the cover of Businessweek, the first woman to do so. Then they took it from her. The advertising man she had brought in owned 92% of the stock. He forced her out in 1954. She was barred from using her own name. The brand ceased to exist in the 1980s. Hazel Bishop went on to teach. She was appointed to the Revlon chair in cosmetics marketing in 1980, the very company that had waged war on her brand. She died on December 5, 1998, in Rye, New York, at 92. She invented the lipstick that stayed on. They took the company that bore her name. And for the rest of her life in a small room, Hazel Bishop still mixed her own shade by hand, a red with a blue cast, for herself, because she was the only one who ever got it exactly right. 15 brands, most of them gone, not because they failed, because they were too simple, too cheap, too honest to survive an industry that learned to profit from confusion. And somewhere in a drawer, in a house that has not changed much, there is a gold-toned tube with the name of a woman no one remembers. The lipstick inside is 60 years old. The color is still perfect. If you want more forgotten wisdom from the generations who came before us, the next video is waiting for you right now.